Hey folks, Jared back again. This year, HTC has seemingly, or at the very least, satisfied the world again with its flagship phone, the HTC One M9. Or has it? Well, it certainly still has that exquisitely elegant look to it with its all-metal body and now dual-tone design. With regards to the crisp, sharp edges though, I actually prefer that sort of feeling in my hands with my devices. The M8's more ergonomic and soft, rounded edges were more comfortable, sure, but in my hands at least, I felt less confident that I wouldn't drop it if gripped lightly. And that's just not the case for me with the M9. Everything here is pretty much where they were before with the exception of the power button, which was relocated from the top of the phone to the right side just below the volume buttons. Which for the most part, I'm personally really happy about, except for the fact that like many others have reported, I find myself hitting the volume down button looking for the power button, and vice versa, but really, it'll just take some getting used to. And if you still can't get used to it, don't fret. You can always jump into the settings and enable double tap to wake and sleep, as well as several other options, but I've got most disabled because I just don't ever use them. Press that power button though, and it'll light up that consistently awesome 1080p LCD display that HTC keeps throwing at us. But it's 2015 now, and the QHD display game is in full swing, so should HTC have dropped a QHD panel in their new M9? Yeah, most definitely, but just like in the M7 and M8, this 1080p is the best 1080p LCD mobile display on the market. You know, it's like John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo originally said, it looks like a sticker was just pasted over top, and I agree, text is razor sharp, and it's one of the most accurate displays in color, saturation, and contrast I've ever tested on a mobile device. Now, Sense 7 paired with Android Lollipop brings some new performance and looks to the HTC One series of phones. For starters, HTC's added a new home screen widget called Sense Home, where it tries to learn the apps you use based on your current location and then present them to you in an easy to access widget. Well, while I've played with it but don't actually use it in my day-to-day activities, I can see how it'd be useful and time-saving. Another addition that comes with Sense 7 is the ability to change around your navigation buttons, so you can add, remove, or reorder them. But I think the most notable Sense 7 addition is the ability to theme the entire UI with either the pre-made themes from the catalog or from your own creations based on the wallpaper you're using. Pretty neat stuff here. I just wish we could download and use our own third-party icons instead of having to download a third-party launcher to do so. But yeah, as far as Sense 7's new features go, other than some minor cosmetic changes throughout the UI and some additional services being added to Blink Feed, that about covers it all, I think. So now moving on to performance. Guys, flagship phones these days are the cream of the crop when it comes to mobile computing performance. There's really no point in showing benchmarks for GPU and CPU performance because with Android Lollipop, Sense 7, a Snapdragon 810 from Qualcomm, the Adreno 430 GPU, and 3 GB of RAM, in my experiences, there's been no visible signs of stuttering or frames dropped, and there's really nothing more to say than it's just a beast when it comes to performance. Battery life, on the other hand, is really hit or miss. Now, everyone's device usage is different. Some people do more video watching than others, and some people just browse the web and text. So I decided to take a page out of ZatoMax's High on Android book and test the screen on time with video watching. So setting up a playlist of videos with the brightness at 100% with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and my Twitter and Google accounts all pulling in, I was able to achieve about 3.5 hours of screen on time with 13% left. Lowering the brightness to 50% probably would have extended it to most likely the 4-hour mark. And with my normal everyday usage, I found I was plugging it in at the end of every night with about 9% battery left. So if you're wondering if it'll last you an entire day, my answer is probably, but again, it'll all depend on how you use your phone. And obviously, if you were playing audio through the dual front-facing boom sound speakers, your battery life will probably drain even faster. But if you use your phone speakers a lot more than you do headphones, then who cares? Because boom sound, bro. But seriously though, I'm very happy HTC continues to include these amazing speakers, and every year they seem to get a little better. This year though, we're given the option to choose between boom sound equalization modes, theater mode for when you're watching videos, and music mode for, well, when you're listening to music. Theater mode's pretty cool because HTC's partnered with Dolby Digital to bring virtual 5.1 surround sound. And although there's clearly only 2 speakers on the M9, while watching some Netflix movies, certain scenes made me think that maybe my wife was walking up behind me when in actuality the sound was coming from a phone, so that impressed me. Okay, so now, can we talk about the camera for a bit? HTC ditched the ultra pixel sensor for something else. Well, on the back at least. Now, originally when I started hearing the rumors that a 20 megapixel sensor was coming to the new M9, I immediately thought of Sony. I thought if HTC packs a Sony sensor in this phone, they'll hit it out of the park. But to my surprise, they went with the Toshiba built sensor. I still don't even really know how to fully express my feelings on that. But I decided to give it the benefit of the doubt. And while I found that yes, it does take sharper images than before, simply because of the higher megapixel sensor, the pictures were extremely underwhelming and actually frustrating at times. Well, actually, most of the time. There's virtually no dynamic range, colors can sometimes look washed out, and the worst and most notable of all annoyances, the exposure is all over the place, man. It's either too dark or totally blown out. It's really hard to find the right exposure balance. I constantly tap all over the screen, and when I do find the right exposure, it's not focusing on the object I want. I have little to no experience with this Toshiba sensor, so I really can't say whether a simple software update from HTC will fix this, or if it's just flat out a hardware issue. But one thing's for sure, if you're looking at buying this phone, it really shouldn't be for the camera. But that's not to say it doesn't still snap pictures blazingly fast, because it does, and it also still has all those awesome manual controls and depth of field features that it did before. The front camera, or selfie cam if you will, is still there in all of its 4 ultra pixel glory. I really have nothing bad to say about this camera because it's actually hands down the perfect camera for taking selfies, and it does a great job of it too. Either way you look at it though, the new HTC One M9 is a great phone. It really is, it's fast. You can't deny the look and feel. Sense 7 is elegant, and those boom sound speakers never disappoint. But even though HTC changed the camera and gave us all what we've been asking for, they only kind of half delivered with a problematic and underperforming sensor. And I would have really liked to see the display upgraded to a QHD panel. So yeah, change is good sometimes, depending on what it is and how you do it. Anyways, folks, that's it for this one. I'd love to read your thoughts on the new M9 and what you think of the new camera. Are you satisfied or slightly disappointed? Let me know in the comments. Let's get this convo started. Also, if you're new here, maybe hit that subscribe button because I'll have a review of the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge soon as well, so keep checking back for that. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.